Hi everyone, I am Romeo and I will be the one who will be discussing the famous literary work of Guy de Maupassant entitled Boule. Boule was first published in 1880 in the anthology L'Essor de Milan. Often considered as his greatest work, Boule was published the same year that Guy de Maupassant made his poetic debut with the work. The theme of the anthology was the Franco-Prussian War a decade earlier. Other writers contributed including Émile Zola and J.K. Huysmans, but it was Guy de Maupassant's short story that serves as the best example of naturalism, which also reigned as the most famous of all. Guy de Maupassant, a 19th century naturalist author, is one of France's most distinguished and celebrated writers of short stories. An incredibly productive writer, Maupassant achieved recognition quickly in France, and the amazing bulk and quality of his work left an impressive and permanent mark on the literary world of short fiction. The era or period when this short story has been published was 19th century, specifically 1880s. Its genre is naturalism, wherein the reality which happened as of that very moment has been portrayed. The setting of the story is mostly inside the coach, on their way from Rayun to Luang. The main characters of the story are Boule, Monsieur Carré Lamadon, Madame Carré Lamadon, Cornudet, Madame Follenvie, Monsieur Follenvie, Comte Hubert de Breville, Comtesse Hubert de Breville, Madame Lusso, and Monsieur Lusso. Boule opens with a description of French soldiers retreating from the advancing Prussian army. They are fleeing through Rayun as Prussians begin to take hold of the city. However, some individuals are given permits to leave Rayun. 10 such individuals have gathered together in the courtyard of a hotel to ready themselves for their trip out of Rayun to Luang. From Luang, the travelers will cross to England if the Prussian army continues to advance. Gathered together at the coach are the driver and 10 passengers, Comte and Comtesse Hubert de Breville, Monsieur and Madame Losso, Monsieur and Madame Carré Lamadon, Cornudet, Boule, and 2 nuns. The first 6 are of higher social class, either extremely wealthy or members of the government or both. The man traveling alone, Cornudet, is a Democrat and a political leftist opposed to the aristocratic government. The woman traveling alone, Boule, is a fat but appealing prostitute. The 2 nuns are simple and spend most of the time praying. The passengers board a shuttle train, the floor of which is covered with straw, and begin their long journey through the night and cold to Totes. Everyone begins to reach a point of breaking, as the trip is very slow and they are filled with discomfort from hunger and thirst. Unfortunately, no one but Boule has brought provisions for the trip, and since the wealthy, respectable travelers have deemed her immoral and cast insults at her, they are hesitant to ask for food or wine. Eventually, Monsieur Lusso breaks the silence and asks for some food. Boule swiftly and happily complies, eventually feeding everyone in the coach. The respectable individuals have a change of heart in regard to Boule. Now, after being fed, the higher social class is happy to pay respect to the plump prostitute. Eventually, the coach arrives in Totes. In Totes, Prussian soldiers greet the passengers at their coach, an event that makes everyone quite nervous. Luckily, their documents appear to be sufficient to allow them to continue their travels. The passengers and the driver intend to stay in Totes one night and depart for Luang in the morning. While having dinner at the inn, Boule is called up to talk to the Prussian commandant. He propositions her, which she angrily and guiltily refuses. All of the other passengers are outraged by the commandant's indecent proposal. The next day, the passengers rise to see that their coach has not been harnessed. It soon becomes apparent that they will not be able to depart Dotes until Boule has sex with the Persian commandant. At first, all of the other passengers support her decision as it would be morally unjust and unethical to support forcing a woman into such painful sacrifice. However, as the days go by, her fellow passengers begin to scheme a way to coerce Boule into sleeping with the commandant. The only person still opposed is the Democrat Corndick. After keenly manipulative speeches at dinner and final monologues from Comte Hubert and the Old Nun, Boule caves to the Prussian commandant's proposal and other passengers' coercion. And on the fifth night in Totes, she sleeps with the enemy. The following morning, 9 passengers rise early to pack and collect provisions. Yet given her long evening of pleasing the Prussian commandant and saving her fellow passengers, Boule has been left with no time to pack food or drink. She is forced to hurriedly board the coach. With the coach safely back on the road, heading toward Luave, no one has the decency to thank Boule for her sacrifice. In fact, they scorn her and call her shameful. No one extends the courtesy she offered to the other passengers on the road to Totes. Boule is left to cry in hunger and thirst. While the others feast and insult her, pain from the previous night's events and cruelty of her fellow passengers, Boule is reduced to tears, sobbing into the night as the coach drifts along to Luave. So the main conflict in the story was when the group inside the coach, where Boule belongs, has been hindered by soldiers. So the way to resolve this was for Boule to sacrifice her dignity. She accepted the condition of the commandant to have sex with him, just to free herself and the whole group. As a result, the group was freed. But despite Boule's sacrifice, the aristocrats and others in the coach did not appreciate what Boule has done. The theme of the story focused on morality and ethics in a divided society. Its tone is mostly serious. One symbolism that could be found is the coach as an arena where different classes meet and encounter other classes. The significance of the story is that it serves as a portrayal of a part of a history and also a reflection of the society in that era. Upon reading the story, I have realized that sometimes, no matter how great your sacrifice is, people will not understand its impact, especially for those who have closed minds.